What's up, boys? We're going to check out some of the Heroes of Hammerwatch II expansion today. Celestial Church, they added a brand new class, and there's actually a total of 8 different classes in the game now, and each of these has 3 different subspecializations, which drastically alters how they play as well. We're going to try out the new priest class. I did 1 run on him, so we can actually go to next game +1 now, and I wanted to unlock the new subspecs here because they really alter how the classes play. So we have a divine Kamehameha attack basically here. We can charge this up for a little bit, and then we jump backwards and we channel it for a long time. Does a lot of damage. Kind of cool. In addition to that, we also gain some passive orbs that will just blast stuff nearby. The basic skills for the priest are a basic Holy Nova, pretty low cooldown, pretty low range, but it's fairly spammable. And then a Consecrate effect that will leech HP from enemies to us as long as it's damaging them and we're inside of the circle. Here's the little Holy Nova, but it's a short cooldown. And then we can get a bunch of upgrades for those in the run as well. Our passive effects for the priest, we have a mana shield when we're on high mana, and we also gain a pretty large damage boost as we spend mana on the mana shield. And that's about it for this class. There's 2 other specializations I'll talk about in a little bit. For every run, we have a few different modifiers here. I'm just going to grab some extra XP and an upgrade for the Holy Nova, where we have a chance to spawn little orbs that will shoot lasers at enemies. But there's actually a ton of different upgrades you can find for all of your abilities. For the priest here, there's a ton of mana-based stuff. And then we can also gain some bonuses for the stacking buff, the Holy Laser, and the orbs. But I think I just want to try this for the Holy Nova. Since it's a pretty low cooldown, we should be able to trigger that pretty often. And then there's a bunch of different consumables. Basically, I'm getting extra XP and movement speed and a bunch of damage in here. And then let's just go ahead and start the run. Oh yeah, and if you want to do the co-op, it's right here. There's actually quite a few open lobbies right now with the expansion, and a lot of people trying that out, but I'm just going to play by myself for now. It's mostly a 4-player thing, but there's some sort of little cheese thing you can do to add a ton of players, I guess. There's a guide to that on the Steam Workshop, but I haven't really messed around with that, so we'll start the new game +1 run here and see what kind of upgrades we can get throughout the run. So, Kamehameha! Alright, I'm really slow while channeling that. I don't know if that's going to be worth using early on, but it is cool. So these are trinkets we can get throughout the run. I think a spell launching a fireball sounds pretty nice. Most of our stuff is fire-related for the Divine Light subspec. Oh yeah, I need to use all my potions and then refill at the well. There's a ton of different, achievements and all. And I haven't been very good about doing the potions because I've been playing a lot of classes that are good at sustaining. But it is working towards some of those, especially the ones for playing different classes and all, since you gain various passive bonuses like extra skill points and all. My favorite class that I've been really focusing is Warlock, and that gives me a bunch of extra elemental resistances just for having that at a pretty high level. The cool little laser beam we have on our weapon. Oh yeah, you can also swap any of these weapons between any of the classes, so we could have like a Holy Light Wizard, for example. Kind of cool. You could put a 2-hand axe on the priest and do like a melee build if you wanted to try that out. See what this guy gives us. A hearty meal. What does that do? Effects. Hearty meal is a bunch of health and mana regen. Not bad. And then we have our little skill upgrade here. We'll find one of these on basically every level, I think. We gain extra mana regen for every orb, mana regen based on missing mana, or fire damage in the laser beam, plus Consecrate combo. I think I just like some generic mana regen if we get low on mana. That should help us keep the mana shield always active and always absorbing damage for us. And then let's go ahead and grab this imp guy. These guys are pretty rare and don't stick around for a long time. Little bit of extra wood, which is used for some of the meta progression in the base. There's like a bunch of different buildings you can build up, and that will give you a ton of different effects. I don't even remember all of that. You can like enchant items, upgrade them to higher levels. You can buy various passive things. There's like a kill combo thing where you kill a bunch of stuff in a certain amount of time, and then we shoot out these Nova projectiles everywhere. And you can add various different effects to that as well. You can upgrade a bunch of the different trinkets that you find in runs. This game honestly has a crazy amount of meta progression. between all the different characters, achievements, and buildings and stuff. Alright, it's time to group up a bunch of stuff and then see how many we can hit with that Kamehameha, I think. Let's see, thorns. Oh yeah, they added some new thorn synergy, and one of the other subspecializations for the priest is actually based around that. So we'll have to try that at some point on a different run. There's one that gives you summons and then passive thorns, I think, and we got a little mercenary squad to join us here for this run. And then the other one is no, it's a melee in Thorns build, and then there's a summoner who can make your allies immortal temporarily in a little banner area of effects nearby you. Which actually sounds kind of crazy in multiplayer, just making everyone completely immune to stuff really well. We gain some extra resistances on that trinket. And if we can get some more pieces of that set, that will make us pretty tanky later on. But yeah, there's a melee priest, a caster priest, and then a summoner priest, it seems like. And we're doing the caster-based one who has a lot of fire and physical spells to synergize with the potions and basic skills we start with. Sounded like it would be the sort of most simple one to play, since I still don't know the class that well. I don't know what any of the skill upgrades do for any of the classes. Since it just came out, there isn't really much information on that yet. A little bit of gear there. Yeah, there's a full gear set as well. Looks like 7 different slots, the weapons, and a bunch of different armor pieces. There's also epic gear, but you have to find like a map inside of the run and then run those afterwards. And those have a lot more special effects on them, where you can get immunity to certain effects. You can apply bleed on hit and gain lifesteal against bleeding enemies, stuff like that. That one's super useful where you get lifesteal for any of the weapon-based classes. Got another skill upgrade here, where that reduces damage, debuff duration inside my 2 ability, or you can upgrade the damage on the Nova Orbs. That sounds kind of nice, sure, why not? Since I'm going to be spamming that skill out a lot, should be pretty good. Try and get as many of those lasers as possible, I think. Did we want to explore anywhere else over there? I think that's good enough for this level, honestly. We got the skill orb, which is the big thing here, I think. Alright, so the Dark Caves. We'll have a few levels for each of the different biomes, and then there will be a boss at the end of each of those, and I think there's like 4 or 5 bosses total for one of these full runs. Mana regen for the stacks over there. Healing when you get low on HP. I think just more mana regen sounds nice. That will help us cast spells and always give us survivability with the mana shield effect thing. Those little scrolls give us XP, which is pretty important for getting our new class up to a decent level, since he'll be way behind my other ones. We can swap one of our current upgrades for one of these ones at the bottom. I guess we could take a green trinket for one of these. It might not be the best right now, but if we could get some of those set bonuses, it might be pretty good. And also, you gain some rewards at the end of the run based on like the total rarity of your trinkets. So sometimes just having some really high rarity trinkets can be nice to boost that up. I think some of the rare crafting materials only come from like rare and epic trinkets, and those are pretty difficult to find in the run, so honestly don't mind just grabbing a bunch of those for that sometimes. You can basically fully customize all the gear you find after you find the enchanting recipes for them. I don't actually have that many, so I can't really do it too much, but you can swap any of the mods on your gear for something else once you have the recipes for it, using some of those rare crafting materials from the trinkets, I think it is, and gold or whatever else. Although I think the special effects on the epic gear doesn't allow you to do that, but you can fully customize all of the blue and lower rarity gear, I think. But the really good epics are a little bit harder to get. Alright, that should be this level mostly done. We can sometimes spend the gold we find in the run at little shops throughout these dungeons as well. And in fact, I think that's one over here, right next to the next floor. So we actually pick one of these for free. Weapon speed, stone gain, or spell crits inflict bleeding. Ooh, that sounds cool. This is a new one added in the patch as well, I think. And then the set bonus restores health for every nearby foe afflicted with bleeding. That sounds pretty cool, actually. Bleeding was mostly sort of a weapon-based thing before this patch, but they've added some extra spell synergy to it as well now, it seems like. A little XP scroll, better grab that. Oh yeah, you can actually heal up the mercenaries as well if you want to, but finding those guys so early on, there's probably not going to be that helpful in the long run, to be honest. But interesting little synergy for the classes with some AoE healing like Priest and Paladin. And I guess if you went with the Summoner build on the Priest, there might actually be some merit to keeping those guys as long as possible. And trying to get the trinkets that give like some follower damage might be kind of neat to try a run with that as well at some points. These guys will let you send some of your resources back to town. Since it has roguelike elements, if you die, you lose most of the stuff on your current run, including all of your trinkets and skill upgrades and all, and most of the resources you had. So that's pretty handy, and also there's achievements which give you probably like stat points or something for sending a bunch of those back at certain thresholds, so you probably want to use those every time if you can. Same with these item pickups, I haven't been the greatest about grabbing all of those either. There's a crazy amount of achievements if you want to try and 100% this game. Let's see... Armor's not bad, we can upgrade the rarity on that basically, and gain some decent survivability later on with those. But they are a bit more on the weapon side of things, where we're going for more of a caster build and spell damage-based stuff. There's lots of secret areas. I don't actually know how you're supposed to find those, since it's super dark here and I have no idea how you would even see that. But if you have a good AoE attack that has a low cooldown, you can just accidentally find them pretty often. We have 3 different types of mana regen. I'll just take this one, since that's almost maxed out. We can maybe get that out of here and make it a little bit easier to find some of the damage-based stuff, maybe. So that's our first boss. I'm going to clear a little bit more here, I think. I can't actually move through there, looks like. But I'm going to make sure we didn't miss anything, since we didn't completely explore everything over here real quick. And I need a bunch of XP on the Priest class anyways. Alright, looks like that's good enough. We'll just let those guys run through the little dot area and head on to the boss now, I think. So the bosses in the Dark Citadel are the same every time. When we get to the first one, it's always this elemental totem who will swap forms every time you kill one of them. I think there's like 4 or 5 different elements it rotates between, and it has different attacks on each one. Since he's respawning, we can charge up a Kamehameha and just blast him with that, although I'm kind of far away from it, but completely nukes that one phase on him. And we'll get another one ready for the fire totem here. Actually does seem a bit better on bosses where we're not trying to move around as fast, but since I have a decent amount of meta progression already, I guess we're kind of OP even on New Game +1 so far. Let's see, 4 seconds, we spit a blob of acid. This is what I was talking about, follower damage, so completing this set with 4 pieces might actually be kind of interesting on a summon-based priest, where you try to keep those guys alive and then get some more followers from both your sub-specialization and some of the item effects. Could be pretty interesting. Let's see, we actually got this 2-piece for that, poison resistance. The epic trinkets actually have some crazy powerful effects. I think one of them I've seen that's really impactful is like +10 flat mana regen. And then every time you spend mana on your spells, you basically convert part of that into HP, and it basically gives you infinite mana and close to infinite healing on that run, and every time I get that on a caster build, it's absolutely insane. We just got a bit of health regen and a 2-piece bonus for that. Decent for a white trinket, but definitely nowhere close to some of the crazy ones you can get. Kind of just trying to maximize all of those little zappy orbs we can spawn off of the Holy Nova. They seem really good at cleaning up some of the stragglers if we can spawn a bunch of them quickly. Let's see. The Nova applies vulnerability, which is a 6-second 20% increase for, I guess, the middle tier one, it looks like. Mana regen or size of the beam. I guess that'll probably apply to everything since we're constantly using the Holy Nova. So that seems like a pretty good choice here. And these guys will randomly give you a choice of an item sometime. We have 1 blue. I'm not sure any of these are useful to me. I have decent gear already, but I'll just take that and sell it if it ends up being useless. Send some more resources back to base just in case we die on this run. Oh yeah, there is actually a shortcut you can take at some point. It makes the run a lot harder because you'll miss out on a lot of the skill upgrades and trinkets which you can get throughout these levels. But if you're really OP, you actually can do that to skip a few of the bosses and biomes and all. But I kind of want to learn the class a bit better since it's completely new, and I don't know any of the upgrades for the sub-specialization, the laser and the orbs we add into the Divine Light thing. So I'm curious about seeing all of those as well. I want to get as many skill orbs as we can here. So mana regen, and extra fire on the laser. This one's already at rank 2, so we'll keep leveling that for a bit. Drop all of my potion charges and use that thing for the achievement progress. We don't really need to fully explore all these runes. I don't need gold that much, I think. You can donate some of your excess gold into the town for some sort of bonus. I think it's under accomplishments. Or titles, actually. And then you gain a tiny boost to weapon damage, but 3% after I've already donated a ton, so those aren't really a huge issue to try and maximize. It's just a little bonus that you'll get over time. This is the guy we can buy 2 trinkets from. Let's see, we can get the 2-piece for that. It's not super useful currently. Shadow Curse is something that will come into play later on. Manhand weapon damage is going to be kind of junk for my build. I don't mind getting the purse, because if we get a bunch of those step bonuses, they're actually really good. 0.5% weapon and cast speed per trinket in your inventory is insane at 5 pieces. It's pretty hard to do, but trying to maximize that early on will increase the chance of that a bit, and then we'll just take a green that might be useful later on. If we can get that up to the 4-piece bonus for spell power based on my focus stat, it is quite good, but I don't know that I've ever actually completed that set before. I think there's like a blue or epic for it that's pretty rare, so we might not ever even find the other pieces to that one. You can also break all the crates and stuff for some healing pickups and sometimes like gold and stuff, but I don't think I really need to do that right now. Maybe if we get some sort of synergy like the new set that gives you XP based on gold or something, we might do that a little bit more, but I don't really care about gold that much right now, I think. Doesn't look like there's really anything important there or over here. Here's our stairs up to the next level, but we might have a little bit more to check out on the left side still. Let me see. No, looks like we got basically everything here. So we'll have a little mini fight here with waves of enemies coming in before we can move on here. Oh, here's a crafting thing of Ascendancy. So we can add a blue mod or swap one out on some of the blue gear we have with that. But we can only do that in the base. There'll be little trap areas that sometimes have treasure chests at the end. These are super deadly early on before you have a lot of meta progression, but having some decent levels on, I think, the rogue class makes that a lot more manageable. Level 25, it's already reducing damage by 17%, so that obviously helps a lot with these. Chance on crits, which will give us weapon and spell crit if we stand inside of it. And then you can sometimes shut off one of the aspects of it. I'm just going to run through there, hopefully be fine. But turning off the flamethrower towers makes that a lot easier anyways. Can we bypass that? Yeah, okay. Doesn't look like that even leads to anything. Looks like there might be something up here. Yeah, chest, and then I think we unlock it over there. So I'll have to try and sprint past the flamethrowers. Just a green hat and a little bit of gold, it looks like. Will those turn off? Alright, it's not too bad, I guess. We don't even have to run from there, I think. Let's see, Blessing of Might. That's like a temporary damage boost or maybe a permanent one? Blessing of Might. What are you? 25% or 10% damage, okay. Oh, that's actually active for the entire run. That's not bad. Send a bit more resources back to base. Why not? A little bit of the laser since I know a bunch of guys are going to spawn out of those piles. Here's our skill upgrade for the level. Damage reduction, aura, bigger vuln. That sounds pretty nice for the Holy Nova spam. These are all crafting mats, I think. Where's the next level at here? Okay, the top left. 100% gold gain, not bad. And we should be getting fairly close to the next boss soon, I think. Probably 1 or 2 more levels for him. Another potion thing, let me fully recharge that. Try and just sprint through the flamethrowers and hope we don't take too much. Control magic missile. Then we can go a little bit slower now that the flamethrowers are turned off here. Is it even worth destroying all these crates? Probably not really. Although there's a big cup over there that gives a decent amount of gold. Oh, I hate this one. The spike trap's constantly active everywhere. So I think that's some stone gain. But kind of hard to sit there and look at the trinkets when there's a bunch of traps active everywhere. So we can buy 2 trinkets here. Health and physical, that's actually not bad, since I have the potion that gives me fire damage based on physical and physical based on fire. And then health and mana is actually quite good for us with all the mana stuff. Those are actually pretty good for whites as well, but I think we'll just take the 2 decent rarity things we have here. that we can get some use out of. Ooh, we're really good at murdering now, so we got an extra skill point off of that. Let's see, we don't really upgrade anything here too much, but trading a little bit of wood for a skill upgrade, I'm honestly fine with that. Just make our current run a little bit easier, even though we'll get a little bit less meta progression. I think the bonuses for that are so small, probably not a big deal anyways. See, damage against elites, stone gain. Ooh, spell crit and chance and damage. That's really good here. 100% gold gain for a limited time. And we just have over here now, looks like. Oh, there's a little bit more on the left side as well. We got the skill thing here, and I think we got all the NPCs. I think it's fine. We'll just head on to the next boss now. So Shadowface, this guy, you can't actually damage him. He takes a little bit of damage when you kill the guys who are sitting on the platforms channeling. So I kind of just run around sniping those, and then I'll just let the other ads group up and AoE them down. But I just try and kill these guys as fast as possible for the boss damage. Whenever he does his bullet hell thing, I try to stay pretty far away, so if he actually aims it correctly, I'll have more time to dodge them, but for some reason he just went completely on the right side there. Weapon speed is not going to do a ton for me. A blue lantern, that might be decent. And then 2 spells gives us a buff that increases weapon and cast speed. Ooh, this set's really good. I love having the set bonuses for really fast cast speed and cooldown, combined with all of the bonuses on each of the trinkets. Is that lantern any good? See, it has higher base damage. I think the secondary stats aren't as good. Mana regen plus crits on the current one is really good. And I think I prefer those over a little bit of lightning penetration. I don't even use that currently. Yeah, I think I'd rather have the extra stats instead of the slightly higher base damage right now. But I can take that back to base and then reroll those stats if I really feel like it. And I have the proper recipe for it as well, of course. Chilling Rand Fire Tome. Looks like there isn't a whole lot in these paths on the right side, just a bit of gold. This one's kind of annoying as well. Get in there while we have a little bit of an opening. Evasion. Ooh, movement speed bonuses. Those would be super nice. Oh, here's our first little Shadow Curse thing. So this is another kind of roguelike thing where you can take a bunch of gifts, but this will give you a stacking kind of permanent debuff that will lower your armor and resistances. We're probably just going to YOLO it. We can gain extra movement, casting speed, weapon power per Shadow Curse, and then we gain a skill upgrade giving Holy Blast a chance to spawn extra orbs. And we gain 23 Shadow Curse, which will also scale up the weapon power here a bit, but it will make us take a lot more extra damage as well. So if you get too greedy on this stuff, you can very easily lose your entire run from that. But just 23 is probably fine, and as we get to the higher levels, there will actually be some ways to clear some of that. So you can kind of keep it lower if you keep taking some of those upgrades like that. Extra armor, and we get the 2-piece for extra parry there, not bad. Send some more resources back to town. Get a golden XP in the side areas. Ooh, priest level. That gave us some passive focus, I think, which is their main stat. And it gives you extra mana and regen for all of the classes, so nice little bonus there. Healing when we drop low, standing in the circle reduces debuff duration, or we can max out the mana regen. I think that sounds nice just so that we can trim down the upgrade pool a little bit and see some more of those. I think that's about it here. Probably don't care about the little group of enemies over there too much. Where's the next floor? All the way on the top left. Let's just line these guys up and do the big laser, I think. Could knock them down pretty quickly and they're grouped up. Oh, we got a purple trinket. Spending 100 mana triggers a rain of fire. That sounds sick. And it's fire damage? That's perfect, actually. Weapon and spell power and bonus based on level. Not bad. I think that was a huge treasury, actually, for the build. Oh yeah, now there's traps that actually apply Shadow Curse as well, so I want to try and not stand in those for too long if I can help it. Blue boots might be okay. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's the next boss, so we want to clear out a bit more of this level before I head up there. Still a lot left here. Let's see, I think this spawns sort of elite enemies that can also apply Shadow Curse if they hit you, but you can gain some nice rare resources, and also you can sometimes gain some potions that give you permanent stats from those, so they can be really good for making your character stronger. But you really do want to avoid the hits from those little wraiths that spawn if possible. Oops, didn't see that last one. % chance to restore a potion charge. Ooh, that's not bad. Gets us the 3-piece bonus for huge mana also, that's pretty nice. Up to 741 now. Fire damage and enemies in the consecrated ground. Holy Blast can spawn extra orbs or just some generic damage reduction. I think that probably sounds nice now that we're stacking up the Shadow Curse. That will help cancel that out a bit. So we can be greedy and keep taking some interesting upgrades with that whenever we find it. Oh, you can actually dash while channeling the beam and it doesn't interrupt it. That's pretty sick. Refill all of our potion charges. grab some new mercenaries. Actually, if we wait a little bit, he'll be at higher HP when we go to the boss level. Thorns and spell power, we don't have anything on that set. Weapon and spell crit damage is very good, and getting the 3 or 4 piece for that would be fantastic. So I think I'll probably take that and hope we get lucky later on. And then I'll probably just grab them now so we don't have to backtrack too much. Let's see, we went over here already. There's a little bit on the right side. And just a bit of gold, don't really care. Oh, these just reduce your Shadow Curse by a small amount, I think? Yeah, we lost 5 there. Let's see, is that everything here? I think so. Everything important anyways. Then here we have the plant boss now, who is hitting us with all those annoying tentacles on the lower floors. Guess we'll go ahead and try to get the beam while we have a bit of free time at the start. Kind of does make me a bit immobile afterwards, but we are killing him pretty quickly at least. Spell hits have a chance of stun. Oh, that sounds really good with the laser. Thorns and spell power, not bad. And another blue lantern has poison res penetration, so I probably wouldn't use that one either. Oh, there's a decent little XP scroll over here. What level am I on priest now? 20? I think I was 18 at the start, so that really hasn't gone up all that much. I think you do get a lot more XP on the higher floors, though. Do those even go anywhere? Seems like we can just run around the other side. That's a big... We can trade resources or magic missile into resistances. We actually have a decent amount of physical synergy, so I think I like that. I guess we can just do the wood to stone, since I think that's a little bit of a gain there. There's our Shadow Curse trinket. I'm not even sure if I want that, to be honest. If we get some of the other upgrades for the Shadow Curse thing, like the spell power one based on the amount of Shadow Curse you have, you can actually get a ton of damage by getting it pretty high. I just don't really use weapon power all that much on this build. What is down here? Just gonna run through there and hope taking 1 or 2 hits isn't that bad, I think. Let's see, Holy Blast can spawn extra orbs. Oh, you do extra damage based on missing mana. Since we already have so many mana regen upgrades, I'm not sure we can really use that now. Maybe we just get the Holy Nova size since we're trying to maximize all the upgrades on that. Holy Nova! just group a bunch of them up and use the big consecrate circle to heal up anyways. I guess the beam attack actually is really cool in long hallways like that. Just such a long cast time. Reduces the range of enemies detecting you and 50% more damage to enemies that haven't detected you yet. Interesting. Probably not very good on a build with a lot of damage over time effects like the laser beams and all. And the little sentries they spawn. And the circle that ticks over time. See, did we get most of the stuff over there? Looks good enough. On to the next floor. I'm actually not sure what you're supposed to do here, since as soon as you go on those tiles, they start hitting you, but I usually just, like, sprint through and try to take, like, just a few hits, but I don't know how you fully avoid that one. Got some of those mana pickups, since that'll keep our mana shield healthy, and we got a dashing equipment enchantment. I think that's one of the boots things, so that actually sounds pretty handy to have. Let's see, I think I like that, and that, and that. I don't think I would trade any of those, honestly. Anything up here? I can't really tell. Oh, we've got another one of these with the blade traps. Ooh, a curse chest over here. We're gonna probably try and run out of here, so I don't have to fight the wraiths inside of that thing. That sounds like a nightmare. Secret area. Although just a bit of XP. What is even the point of that? Is there like a secret area back here or something? I have no idea. Here we go, the big Kamehameha! I'll just let those guys run through the circle for a bit of healing here. Let's see, healing at low HP, fire damage on the consecrated grounds. I think that's just on the laser. Kind of hard to pull that combo off, I guess. But extra orbs on every single hit from it sounds kind of cool. Is that everything here? Looks like about it. So on to the next boss.
That skill is not yet ready.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to dodge with a laser going here. But if we can get both of them lined up, it should be a lot of damage. Oh, it only actually hits one of them. Oh well. I feel like such a big laser should go through them and hit multiple targets. 75 mana causes a meteor strike. Physical and fire. Oh, that's perfect for the build, wow. Main hand weapon probably does nothing for me. And then we have an epic map to try and find some cool gear after this. A lot of traps in here. I'm gonna probably laser beam these towers first. And then it'll be a lot easier without having to think about those. Let's see, blue cap. Ooh, spell cooldown. If I could use that, that would be good, but it looks like it's a dexterity helmet, actually. I don't know if we want to go up here. We probably have to go through there to get the skill thing anyways. That's a lot of traps for something that I don't even know if we want to go. The healing at low HP, debuff duration, an aura that does fire damage to nearby enemies at max stacks of the mana spinning buff. Maybe we take a level on that just to have the cheat death just in case. That way we can keep playing really aggressively and trying to maximize the AoE hits with the short range attacks. Yeah, I don't really know how you fully dodge this either, since there's basically always like one set of them active. This is going to be a pain to fight stuff in here as well, so let's just try and sprint out of there. Yeah, this was just a huge bait anyways. What is glowing orbs? Oh, that's just like a little fire. I thought that was something new I hadn't seen before. That's good enough for here. On to the next level. Alright, that's a lot of stuff to line up for big lasers. Let's see, blue bracers. Oh yeah, there we go. +1 intelligence permanently. So you can keep scaling up your characters, I guess, even if you max out all of the stuff in the town. And I think the final boss usually drops a bunch of those once you're on the higher difficulties. Alright, we'll just charge up a laser out of sight and then run in and try to snipe the towers here again. And then these are a lot easier to get through when it's just the traps. Although we might wanna... oh, we have an opening out here. So we don't have to fight the wraiths in there at least. Like, there's our next boss, but I think I want to explore a little bit more on this floor before we move on here. Fill all the potions again. Greater vulnerability. I don't know how much that is, but it sounds good. Width of the beam. Oh, that sounds really cool, actually. I'm just gonna try it because it sounds funny. Let's see the big beam. Oops. Whoops. Got too invested in the big beam there, I guess. So here's what happens when you fail. I really shouldn't have done that there, but ah well. So we lose a certain percentage of this stuff. We'll have to wait for everything to add up, I guess. You can also see the damage breakdown for the various skills you had. So Inner Light, I think that's the Holy Nova, that was pretty good. We didn't really use the beam a lot, and it was still a decent amount of damage, so it might actually be worth building into that a bit more. Let's see, we lose 15% now. I think that's a lot higher before you have the town built up, but not too bad. And then we'll just go ahead and check out this new little map they have for these Divine Blessing things. What does this guy have? Oh, this is where you donate the resources. But you can now add in some abilities from the different classes onto each of them, I guess. This would give weapon and spout power by a percentage of armor, and then you gain armor on top of that, so that sounds pretty useful. This one gives you every 7 hits with a weapon cast magic missile. So a cool little like spellblade build thing there. Let's try out a bit of armor so I don't get one shot as much, I guess. So we choose all of these things for here as well, it looks like. I'll just do maybe some damage here. Keep most of the other stuff the same. We'll just do the orb thing again here and keep all those the same. And see what this new thing is all about. If it loads. Trial of Valor. Oh yeah, this is supposed to be super high level, I guess, so... I don't actually know if I can do this on a low level character. First wave seems okay. Oh, we have to explore around and loot a bunch of stuff, I guess, as well? Wait, I can't even get that chest. Oh, there we go. Weapon power. What does the map of this look like? Okay, it looks like there's a limited area. We just have to explore all around. And I guess kill stuff in a certain amount of time or something? But you can even get the little mercenary guys here as well. Oh wait, you can keep going. This is way further than the map was showing. You can only like drag it over certain ways, but it seems like we can just keep going. This is actually kind of crazy for just a single floor. Let's see, mana regen sounds nice since we lost all of that. We don't have that much early on. The Fallen Approach. Weapon damage, or I guess basic damage actually. Damage taken. Poison resistance and penetration. Don't think that does anything for me. Spell crit's okay. Lightning resin penetration. Man, this is a huge map for a single floor. Oh, that's a rare crafting material I think you get from that big trinkets. There doesn't really seem to be a lot of enemies here, it feels like. How do I... Oh, that's not actually a wall in the corners. Chance to restore health on kill, that sounds pretty good. Poison res. Okay, I guess at certain breakpoints it spawns a lot of stuff. But there just doesn't seem to be that many enemies by default. I guess early on you're supposed to just focus on collecting all the treasure chests and stuff. Vision. And armor.
Stay there!
And it's kind of hard to see where you actually move through some of this weird terrain in here without, like, staring at the mini-map.
Great.
Extra health. Oh, that chest is all the way down there. Screw that. What is over here? Oh, we have the Shadow Curse thing as well. Spell hits have a chance to do extra random damage. That sounds really cool. We'll definitely take the spell stuff. I'm not sure weapon crit will really help me that much here. Probably pass on that one here since I don't know if we can actually drop any of the Shadow Curse in this area. Full gain for trinkets. Ooh, fire resin penetration, that's the good one for us. Oh, we actually can drop some Shadow Curse on this level. But I think that was the first one we saw. What is that? Just a green trinket, armor and thorns. Movement speed, not bad. All resistances. Did we explore everything here? Okay, there's a huge area in the middle, actually. Kind of did a lap around the outside. Vulnerability, missing mana, and debuff duration. Well, we don't have that much mana regen yet. We could try the damage based on missing mana on this run. It's so hard to move through the trees and stuff here. Extra mana, and that gets us a set bonus there, not bad. Alright, so I guess boss time. Kind of want to see what he does first, since I have no idea what these new guys do. Alright, little bullet hell thing there. ranged attack. So we'll try and charge up a laser right as he does that, so we can get it afterwards. Hopefully have a little bit of free time before his next attack. Uh-oh, he's yelling. Alright, he doesn't actually do that much, it seems like. Oh, there's a little Nova attack he does after the leap as well. Spirit Boon improved. Okay, that was actually not too bad. Combo Nova did my most damage, since we were just running around looting stuff. I guess we can actually upgrade those quite a bit. I wonder, are those per character, or are they like an account-wide thing? If I go to my Ranger, it's level 0. So you have to do these on each of your characters, it looks like. So back to Priest since we're trying him out, and I guess we'll do one of each at first. Do you have all these active at once, or is it just one at a time, I wonder? Looks like it might be everything. We'll just start doing them in order, I guess. The Trial of the Arcane. I guess there's different enemies and bosses for each of them? Weapon speeds. Ooh, spell power per Shadow Curse. We can do the full YOLO with that then. And then width of the beam. Fire damage and the consecrated ground. Just do full damage, why not? See how fast we can nuke down the boss on this stage. HP region. Lightning thing. There does seem to be a decent amount of the rare crafting materials here. You need those, I guess. All resistances. Oh, jeez. I tried to get my consecrate down and they almost blasted me. Damage taken. Weapon power. Extra health. Well, we're getting some decent survivability stuff, at least, to go with the full YOLO build. Chance to restore health on kill. I can't even go through there. What is that? thorns. See, mana regen, mana regen, mana regen. Let's get some mana regen. What is that? That's just decoration? Oh, it's like a little shield thing on the wall there. Actually got 2 pieces of the resistance set. Where else? Lots of area to the south. We've already been over there, but there's a bunch of area here still. Or not. Armor. I feel like this one just has like a lot of dead air. Like it seems like we haven't explored much of the map, but I can't even go over there. It's all just bridges. What is happening there? It's like there's multiple maps at the same time? What? I don't even know what that means. Nova can spawn orbs, extra damage based on missing mana, or mana regen based on it. Let's do some more damage here, see how that ends up working out. Yeah, it definitely feels like there could be a bit more stuff to fight in here, but maybe I'm just not really understanding this. There's like 1 or 2 packs in every area and they just die instantly. There's just so many dead ends here. Oh, you actually spawn the skill things off of those. I didn't notice that earlier. So, size, or mana regen. Let's do some... Wait, that's the exact same thing. Isn't it? Oh, that's the one and the two. Slightly different circles. That's the Holy Nova. I like that more, I think. That's the thing we already took. Map just feels really empty. I don't think we can go anywhere else. And the bug with the overlay makes it kind of hard to see anything as well. Hits from the circle restore mana, extra fire to enemies in consecrate, or a fire aura. Let's do probably mana here. This one sounds kind of hard to use against a boss that I don't really know yet. The big laser also kind of gets stuck on terrain sometimes, even when it feels like it shouldn't. Like, why is it getting stuck on the tiny little wooden wall there? Oh god, I got stuck on the tree. Ow. That map just felt so empty of enemies to fight, and there's so much dead space with all the empty air, it felt like. So this one gives us bleeding enemies spill extra gold, and weapon and spell crits have a chance to apply bleeding. Ooh, that sounds really good. Sure, why not? I feel like just adding a way to spawn a lot of enemies really quickly in here, if you want a bit more of a challenge, would be cool. Similar to the shortcuts that they have on the basic level. Man, it's gonna take a long time to get 5 of each of these trials done on every single character, too. Health regen. Please, just let me spawn more enemies somehow. All resistances. Oh yeah, the skill orb. Vulnerability, mana regen, circle, reduces debuff duration. Let me get some mana regen going early on, I think. Vulnerability or 2 different mana regions. We already have a level in that, I think, so we can get that out of the pool. Extra armor. Circle restores mana, fire to enemies on the ground, and Nova can spawn orbs. Let's do more orb damage, I think. Of precision. I don't know what slot that goes to. Damage taken. Armor, weapon crit damage, and size of the Healy circle. Why not? Spell crits. Mana regen and damage based on mana. I'll finish this one off since that will give us the last rank on it. Mana on kill. Been down there yet? Looks like yeah. Size of the Holy Nova. Fire damage. Yeah, let's just take Holy Nova here. Extra health and mana regen. At least the boss is almost out now. Seems like they have similar but slightly different attacks. But they honestly feel almost the same to me. Slightly different bullet hell, slightly different leap attack. Alright, I think that's enough of that for now. That's kind of boring, and I feel like not properly tuned right now. Like, there needs to be way more enemies in those, I think. But we can check out an epic map and see what kind of chess piece we get here. Do some more Holy Nova. Looks good. Let's do big. Oh, that's the Healy circle? I guess that's fine. We can try focusing on that a bit more and see how it feels. thorns. Spell hit stun sounds decent. Also armor to go with the healing circle. We could try a full sort of tank build this time. Just see if we can constantly sit in the heal circle and face tank stuff, maybe. Mana regen, Vuln, and beam width. Let's do probably some mana regen since I don't think we have any of that yet. See, looks like that's about everything here. There's like a big area up there, but it doesn't look like that's actually accessible. Maybe it's like a different floor or something. %5 damage. %10 on crits gives you weapon and spell crits. Well, that'll be easier to do with a full tank build. Sit in the area and keep getting benefits from that. Width of the beam, size of the healing circle. Yup, gotta try that this time. Of slowing. I think that's a weapon mod. Mana regen, beam damage. Oh, we could actually try that now that we have the max size on the consecrated grounds. May as well on this run. Size of the Holy Nova aura. I'll do a bit more mana regen. Since we're going to be face tanking a lot on this one, we'll constantly be taking damage to the mana shield as well. Nova Vuln sounds decent to buff everything else up. Spells give weapon and cast speed. Okay, that sounds pretty nice. Spell damage. Oh, I guess Thorns might actually be kind of funny here. I don't know if it's good, but we do get the 2-piece bonus, so we may as well try it out on this run. Potion restores dash charges. And those guys moan a lot when they get hit. Width of the beam, we do have some upgrades for that now. Yeah, may as well try that. Holy Blast can spawn extra orbs. Sounds cool. Spell power, not bad. It's probably mostly everything here, yeah. These ones are a lot shorter than the main dungeon, so we're probably almost done with this one now. Dashing, caltrops. This would get us 2 of those, but you need 4 for any bonuses. Not the greatest. I do have a bit of parry on the dagger weapon, so I guess that does make sense here. Spell bleeding, that sounds pretty nice for the boss. Spell crits. None of these actually do anything at this point, I think. I don't know that getting Shadow Curse would be that good here. I'll just grab a bit of wood gain on the way out. Holy Blast, yeah, that sounds good to spawn extra orbs. Then we'll do some extra damage when they're in the consecrated grounds. Spell launches a fireball. Sounds okay. I think that is about it for here. I don't think we can actually get up there. Oh right, the red circles are actually good. That's what gives me the crit. And you can actually avoid the ballistas on either side by standing up here. I actually learned this from someone when I joined a random multiplayer party one time. And then we get a couple choices of epic gear. Let's see, dexterity, and then I think this one is intelligence, and 3 pieces are dexterity. So probably not the greatest for priests. Minus movement speed penalty from casting spells actually sounds kind of nice for the laser, though. Those are mostly the same thing anyways. 20% damage against elites, and chance to clear 1 shadow curse when killing an enemy. I think I just like the chest piece. They all have the movement penalty anyways, and that has a lot of caster-related stats. So we have that in the inventory, and we might take a little look at the crafting, since we could probably reroll some better stuff on that. If I have any of the recipes for it. So the silken garb. Static is the lightning resistance thing on that, which probably isn't that useful. Lightning res or pin, I don't remember which. I think it's resistance. But we could swap that over to like strength or armor, mana regen, stuff like that. Durable is armor, and keen is intelligence, it looks like. And for the second mod, we can swap the 5% evasion into what? Damage against elites, shadow curse gain, thorns, or dash charge. Not sure about that. I guess evasion's probably okay there. Probably swap that over to mana regen, I guess, since that gives us extra survivability. Then we can also upgrade the item level a little bit with golds, which just increases most of the stats on it, I think. So we would gain 1 armor, 0.1 mana regen, and I think the other stuff doesn't even scale. Let's see, we're starting at 29 and 1.4, and we'll put a bunch of levels on that, and we go up to what? 34 and 1.7? It's okay. Movement speed penalty does sound pretty nice for the laser attack, though. But honestly, I barely even feel that. I wonder, does it not work on that attack for some reason? Alright, let's take another look at the basic dungeon, and we'll do a different class, actually. So we've been doing Divine Light, and then Crusader is the Immortality in an AoE and passive summons. Physical damage on that. Flagellant is a wide melee attack that does extra damage based on your thorns, and then you gain thorns and extra thorns based on your maxed health. So I think I'll want some more levels on that 1 thorn statue. Before I try that out, we'll do just a standard summoner. See what kind of upgrades you can get for this guy. And physical should be pretty easy to synergize with. And you can just freely swap between these. And you can also pretty easily spend your points on the new stuff that they have, since it'll refund the old stuff. So I'll definitely want to max out the summon, since that sounds pretty handy for single targets. Let's see, the Immortality gains extra duration and mana costs. We'll do a little bit on that, and then I'll save a couple points in case there's something else I really want. So we can grab a bit more into focus, since that's our primary stat here. A little bit of survivability, since we got 1 shot. And I think a little bit of intelligence is good, since it gives you spell crit and damage. Should be a decent damage boost to have some of that. I probably need to clear out my inventory a bit as well. Let's see, that might be okay. Yeah, it's pretty similar. Swaps 1 stats. The higher level will probably be worth it for that. That's wand. I think I like the dagger for extra survivability. And we could actually try swapping out some of the stats on the higher level lanterns to see if there's anything good on those. That one's 91, 94. So I guess that one's probably higher level. Let's see what we can enchant on that one. Lantern. So we definitely need something instead of electrocution. This would give us weapon crits, slowing, or spell crit. Spell crit would be good. Chilling is ice damage. Not sure if that's super useful for me. Oh, spell damage would be great. Yeah, we could do spell damage and spell crit. And I believe that should work on the summons. And then we can vendor all of the old stuff for a little bit of extra money. Yeah, I don't think I need any of that. Oh, the slippers. We do need to see what I can get on those, right? Icy is probably not very useful. Maybe we'll put a bit of armor on that so I have a decent amount there. Recovery, I think, is fine. So we can now... Oops. I just wasted a bunch of money. We can sell everything, including that. And then we can do a couple levels on some of the new gear. For a little bit of stats. And then I probably have enough gold to get a few more meta upgrades here as well. Armor's handy. A little bit of weapon power just in case. And then I guess we'll try hosting a multiplayer and seeing what happens. Public for anyone, we'll do that. And go into new game +1. I'll do... Let's do some movement speed here so I can move around a bit faster. I failed to join my own lobby. Okay, interesting. Celestial Lights. Oh, what can we get for the summons? Restore mana for every target in the area when you do the immortality. Banner applies mark to enemies in range, which is increased chance of critical hit. Oh, that sounds pretty good. I apparently can't host my own game for some reason. And then we also summon crossbowmen who attack enemies at range, dealing physical damage. That sounds pretty cool. Crusaders have a chance to immediately respawn when killed. I think let me start with some crossbowmen here, I think. And then these are actually fine since we're physical damage. And the base spells are fire. That should still work pretty nicely. So I think we are good to go. Oh, we can do the... Oh, you select one of these boons. Okay. So I guess we will take the... Bleeding, maybe? Since there's some new synergies with that. And then we'll do a chance of treasuries. I guess we'll have to go solo since I can't host, and I kind of want to have my buffs. I think when you join a run that's in progress, it like doesn't let you choose that stuff at the start, since the host has already done that part. So that's one thing that's a little bit annoying about multiplayer, and of course just not being able to host my own lobby, I guess. Those guys feel a little bit slow right now, I will say. Minus damage taken. We can get an extra crossbowman, healing on low health. Kind of just want to try maxing out the summons if we can, since that's what this class is all about. And then I guess we'll actually try and keep the mercenaries alive on this run as well. If I can pay attention to their health. So any sort of extra healing effects we can add in as well could be pretty interesting. Spell power, not bad. Mana, orbs on the Nova, max out the crossbowman? May as well. Don't think I care about any of these too much. Maybe I'll try a blue scepter at some point. Hits restore mana for every ally in there. Let's just do some passive mana regen, I think. Oh, we have a piece of the follower damage set. That would be interesting to try on this run. Where was that at? There we go. Maybe 23 stone. There's the next level, and we haven't really explored that much on this floor yet. Ooh, an entrance. Spell hits cause confusion would be pretty nice. I definitely don't want to trade the follower thing, so I think I'm fine with that. Hammer Thorns, dashing drops the caltrops, or movement and casting speed. I think that sounds nice. Especially early on, so we can zoom for a pretty long time. Damage per percent missing mana, Nova, banner applies marked. Maybe we do that so that we have like a big burst window where we're immortal as well? A little bit more up here. Potion thing. Alright, drop the immortality and just go for huge burst, I guess. Oh, someone's gonna actually block his flamethrower attack. Interesting. That actually makes them really strong against some boss mechanics. Epic map. Potion charge. Extra health. Fire aura, size of the healing circle. Ooh, that would be fantastic here. Since it should heal all of my followers as well. Blue hat, sure, why not? Yeah, they're getting tons of healing when they sit on top of that. Chance to restore health on kill. Two spells gives us a buff increasing weapon and cast speed. That sounds pretty good. Yeah, those are just weapon related anyways. I wonder how low we can get the cooldown on the immortality thing actually. That could be pretty busted. Mana, fire aura, and orbs on the Holy Nova. Since we have the AoE on that already, I think that one makes sense here. So we're gonna max that out for the follower healing anyways. % on crits to drop an area that gives extra crits, armor, thorns, damage against elites, and drop piles of gold when killed. That sounds kind of cool to get fairly early on. Farm a lot of gold off of that, maybe. Of craving enchants. I think that's some sort of leech effect for weapons. I think that's about it for here. That looks like a lot of stuff to try and avoid here. Alright, I can't even avoid that at the end. With the main region. Alright, screw it, we're going through the arrows. Oh wait, I can probably just cheese that with my immortality banner now that I think about it. There's just never been a class that had an ability like that before. Let's see, thorns and spell power sounds okay. Damage against elites. Yeah, I think I'm fine just taking the high rarity stuff here. So if we drop a banner like over here, and then we grab it, and then sprint back through while the banner blocks most of that, we can just completely avoid most of the traps there. Aura that reduces damage for all allies. I think I could use a little bit more mana regen. We're kind of burning through that pretty quickly. Let's see, thorns and weapon power. That would give us a 2-piece there. Might be okay. Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. A hearty meal. I think that's the regen thing. But you can actually heal all your allies at the same time. Where was the next floor? Oh, there we go. I think that's the boss. Need to explore all the sides first. Banner applies marked. Don't know how much better that is, but it sounds kind of funny. Especially if we can get all the cooldown items. Of vulnerability. Sounds like some sort of weapon proc. Oh, there's a shrine. 30% damage, not bad. There's so many traps overlapping on one spot here. 25% iron gain. Drop a little banner over here. And then try and sprint back through. Bunch of wood, stone, or debuff duration. I think I'd rather keep the trinket here. And I really don't want to give up my supporty stuff. I'm just trying to buff the minions as much as possible. Using a wisdom, I think that was either XP or mana cost. Man, that banner seems kind of crazy. We should probably just join a multiplayer game and see how it does on there later on. Probably seems good enough for this floor now. We don't really need the potions. I guess this is the one weakness where there's a fight where you just have to constantly move, even regardless of being invulnerable. So you have to go chase down all the ads constantly. Oh, those guys are dying. Let's actually try and keep them alive now that I think about it. Come into my healing circle. Okay, we can heal them up with a bunch of ads here, maybe. They kind of just get wrecked by the Blood Elf stuff, though, it seems like. Oh, you know, I could just give him the immortality whenever he does the bullet hell. Now that I think about it. Every 3 seconds, spit a web, inflicting slow in a small area. And then the 2-piece for extra poison damage, spending mana, fires a magical missile, and a map. I need to like try and drag them into the circle when there's a bunch of enemies in it as well. For the big healing. Some new mercenaries to join my roster. Maybe I just like laser behind me the entire time. Spell power, mana on banner, and then healing when you get low? Sure, why not? Size of the Holy Nova, damage based on missing mana, or in the circle reduces debuff duration. Well, I guess that actually does make sense for this build. With the big circles. Oh, that does not work on... The arrow's there for some reason. Or it actually casted the wrong spell, not the one I pressed there. Oops. Didn't notice that the first time. Crits. That seems to be mostly everything. I think we can just move on now. That looks fire related. Wait! It didn't pick that up when I pressed F over there. Whatever, it's not a big deal. There must have been, like, 2 things that dropped and I didn't notice. Oops. Evasion, and then movement speed set bonus would be quite nice. All resistances, but we don't have any pieces for that. We could get a 2-piece there for some percent spell power, would be pretty solid. Oh, we could also just buy both of the resistance things. I think I like evasion and movement speed. And I think that's fine. We'll just take some high rarity stuff there. Weapon crits inflict bleeding. Spell power per trinket. Oh, that's pretty good. Weapon crits. I'll just take everything. Oh, I wonder if, like, weapon crit and damage actually affects the healing that the beam does, since isn't that based on it? 45% weapon damage and heals them for 45% weapon damage as well. Interesting. Could you just do a full weapon build and instantly heal people up with a laser, I wonder? Debuff duration, damage reduction, mana regen. Let's do a bit of damage reduction here. Ooh, permanent dex.
Oh, stay there!
Looks like it's time for the boss. Probably not a whole lot over there anyways. Alright, we might need a couple more mana regen upgrades actually for the bosses. Chance on parry to be able to parry range attacks. And dual spell crits, pretty nice. How am I supposed to get through that? Light in the forward direction inflicts blindness and immunity to blindness. Interesting. 100% gold gain. 50% iron gain. Let's run out of here and just go immortal, I guess. Ooh, more mercenaries. Nova vulnerability, damage based on missing mana, or damage reduction. Let's go here since I am keeping the Shadow Curse pretty high for the extra spell power. And that'll also keep it easier to keep those guys alive as well. Ooh, permanent decks. No blue trinkets. Weapon damage. Drinking a potion sets Shadow Curse to 0% for 30 seconds. Weapon speed. We really don't have any synergy with these. Oh wait, weapon speed would increase the healing of the ray. Okay, that actually sounds kind of funny. We'll do weapon damage and speed. Now we can beam them up a bit faster. Nova applies Vuln, reduce debuff duration. We could use a bit more mana regen here, I think. So we can constantly beam them. I think that's the boss area. I think we still have a bit more to explore here. Don't think I'm gonna run into a bunch of traps for a little bit of XP. I kind of like all of these, I think. Could do that for the chance to respawn, but I'm focusing on healing so much. Don't think I want to trade any of these. Alright, on to the boss. Can't really tell what's going on with this many minions, but I'm just going to try and keep all of the, like, temporary ones alive, I think. So that we'll have them for later. Oh man, they nuked the boss there. Spell crits for 5 seconds after hitting an enemy with a weapon. Well, that's fantastic with the Healy beam, actually. Weapon and spell crit, that gets us 2. 3-piece would be quite good, but not quite yet. Damage based on missing mana, mana on barrier. Let's do max debuff duration for the Healy circle. Sounds kind of cool for this build. Would gain 1% B Octor Sip kills? What the heck does that mean? Movement and weapon speed. Oh, we get the 3-piece for 15%. That looks pretty nice. Movement speed for some more healy beam. Although we could use a bit more mana regen to go with that as well now. See. Looks like a lot in the bottom right still. Alright, we better lower the Shadow Curse a little bit, I guess. Oh god, the banner is not working over there. Oh, they can silence the banner? What the? That is messed up. Five ice to weapons? I guess that's not bad now that we're beaming so much. Yeah, they can silence the banner, and if you're not careful, you'll just die really quickly. else do we have here? Ooh, skill thing over there. Damage increased by missing mana, chance to respawn instantly. I guess we are running out of mana a bit. That might be some okay damage. Don't really have any potion charges left. Run back into the banner. %, gold gain. Looks like probably the boss up there, or the next floor. Alright, just keep focusing on keeping all of the temporary mercenaries alive, so that hopefully we'll have some of them still for the final boss. Single target seems to be decent with all of them active. Lightning to weapons. Sounds alright. Searing Torch spell launches towards a nearby enemy, dealing 50 fire damage. This is where some of the temporary minions might die, where there's just absolutely insane bullet hells by the enemies as well. But I'm gonna focus on keeping them up. Size of the healing circle. Ooh, that's fantastic, actually. With all the buffs we have for that. still have at least 4 of the temporary guys alive. They are kind of derpy around the corners sometimes and just don't even try to get around them. Oh, we're almost to the final boss and there's nothing like that there. Insightful. Sounds like probably intelligence or focus stats onto a piece of armor. How many did we keep alive? Looks like 5 or 4 of the blue guys. Somewhere around there. That's actually pretty good for the final boss. Now, can we keep them up throughout this fight with all of his AoE stuff? Probably not, to be honest. Live, minions, live! Yes, the end ball just in time to keep them alive a bit longer. We did it! I think we kept all of the temporary guys alive. Full minion build. Call Crusaders 6.64 million. The heal thing did about a third of that. I kind of want to try doing like a similar build in multiplayer now and see how that works. But I just want to dump a couple things that I'm never going to use and then do like a quick run in there. I think it's like cheaper to upgrade stuff at a lower rarity or something. So if you wanted to try and craft something all the way up, I guess those are better? I don't remember exactly how that works. Scorching Sword, it's probably good enough for now. Go spend a couple like talent and stat points if we have them. Let's see, I guess more of the banner. Can I respec these? What does it cost? Quite a bit. I don't think I'm going to do that. But we will take another level on you. And then a bit of vitality since we're going to be running into the front line trying to heal people. And I'll try to host one more time. If that doesn't work, we'll just join a game and see what happens. But I want to see what happens if we just keep healing and giving immortality and buffs to our teammates in there. They'll basically be like my stronger minions. But it doesn't seem like it's going to work. No, I haven't tried the scepter. I'm using a dagger for a bit of survivability and a lantern for the cool little healing beam thing. I haven't really messed around with weapon stuff all that much in this game, honestly. I usually just do spell builds. Doesn't seem like it's going to let us join a game. Or oh, I am in one, I guess. I guess it must have worked. Okay, we'll just start a run then. So new game +2. Let's do survivability this time, since this might be kind of rough on me, and then something to buff my allies here, I suppose. Maybe we'll just do the marked on the banner. And then boons, let's do armor for a bit of survivability. And then hopefully people can join this lobby, I guess. Let's see, lobby, it looks like it's active. Oh yeah, I wanted to try to go a bit more into like the weapon damage this time, so that we could really maximize the healing beam. Reduces damage sounds nice. Oh yeah, it's not paused on this, so I guess it is open. We'll do... yeah, a bit of damage reduction on that. So yeah, it looks like the hosting works now and people can join. 100% XP. Ooh, fire pin, not bad. Blindness sounds like a weapon prop. Yeah, I got a bunch of weapon speed towards the end of my run right there, and I was running out of mana pretty fast because I didn't get enough of the skill upgrades to help with that. Does seem pretty interesting. I hope some people join the run so I can try the full support build here. Would be kind of funny. Don't think I care about any of these. Maybe I should just join a run. Yeah, I guess we'll quit out of here since we're pretty early on anyways, and we'll just join some people. So online, level 5, new game +4. That's kind of crazy. There's a lot less lobbies right now. New game plus 55,902. Wow, that seems pretty high. I guess we'll try over here. He's at least close to my level. Grab my priest. Okay, it looks like he started the force. Oh, there he is. No, wait, that's my mercenary. Where is... Oh, he just didn't kill anything, it looks like. I get something from them too? Sweet pancakes, nice. But yeah, I don't think we get the potion effects when we join a lobby like this, so that's a little bit annoying. Wait, this is not new game +4, this is like +1, isn't it? That's such low level on the gear. It said it was +4 when I joined, didn't it? Let's do damage reduction aura, I think. Help in mana region. Poison. Looks like we're doing the shortcut to somewhere in the end of the stage. I'll just let him select how hard he wants to go here. Looks like he wants to go fully hard in the paint. Wait, I only have one mercenary here for some reason. Even though I have that skill maxed out still. But maybe they just take a really long time to respawn? I will say the immortality banner actually seems pretty busted. Let's do more crossbowmen. Standing in the circle gives a buff. Aura that reduces damage. Mana every time we banner, that seems pretty decent last time, and then standing in the circle reduces debuffs. And then I'm not even gonna try and go over all those trinkets, that's way too many at one phone. I guess he's still picking his skill upgrades on the orb. So we're on the barracks. So I think that's 2 bosses until the end, right? Heal, Dilly! Heal! I will keep you alive! Let's get a little bit more mana based on missing mana. Ooh, Shadow Curse thing. Give me everything! Live, Dilly! Ooh, secret. See, there's probably a bunch of stuff over there to explore. But he actually has the architect thing that reveals the map, so I'm not exactly sure where we've been, other than it's slightly darker. Let's see, does he want to full clear or just rush the bosses here? Okay, looks like full clear. Actually, I'm not sure. Mana restores a dash charge, not bad. Let's see what was in there. Looks like he got everything. Probably just some resources or something. Alright, that's about everything now. See what he's doing. He might be at the exits. No, he's down there somewhere. Oh, we've already been over there. And just grab a couple random pickups. Yeah, we've been through all of that. We've explored everything here. Oh, it looks like my summons reset at the start of a level. That ice explosion on kill is so sick. Ooh, skill. Circle restores mana, Nova Orb on. Let's do some mana regen over there, I think. Should be up most of the time. Live, Dilly! I will save you! Fire damage to weapons. Oh, I wonder if the flat damage on those things actually increases the healing as well. I guess it should. Like a third person joins? How do I even type in chat again? T? That's kind of a weird bind. Now we have more people to join the horde and heal. See, I think we've been down there. We've done some potion charges real quick for that achievement progress. There's something in there. Live, Dilly! Don't let my beams be memes! Alright, fully healed. That's actually kind of strong. Yeah, it just says it heals based on weapon damage, so I think flat damage stuff would work on it. And weapon speed definitely seemed to when I got a lot of it on the first run. Thorns and spell power. And spell hits can inflict silence and extra physical. Not bad. Man, I feel so slow without that 15% movement speed set from the first run. Or I guess the second run. I think everyone gets those resources when you loot them in a multiplayer group, so that's pretty nice at least. Oh, that had a bit of a delay there, I think, because of the multiplayer. Detect range by 50%. Nope. Spell hits, no. I don't think I want to trade any of these. Those are definitely pretty nice, and that's whatever. Extra crossbowman, aura does damage, or... Ooh, the Healy thing. Yeah, we want to max out the size of that since we're getting the debuff duration and mana on ticking on that, maybe? Live, Hydrak! Oh, there's something all the way back there. Oh, he's actually doing the melee Thorns Priest as well. We have the perfect combo, healer and tank. I think that's what Crusader is anyways. Oh yeah, I already checked the swap thing. We wanted to keep everything. Looks like that is probably about it. Where's the entrance? Oh, derp. Yeah, and I think there's some interesting potential for like a wizard with the lantern because they have, I think, the enhancement class that gives a lot of like stats and weapon scaling. And then wizard also has bonuses to arcane weapons, which the scepter is. Definitely some interesting stuff you could do with like a healing laser wizard. Tank them and use your thorns damage. I'll heal Hydra. He's in the middle. Banner applies marked. Ooh, we could upgrade the damage buff for that. Stone into a potion charge. Weapon crits. Oh, that sounds interesting. We do lose that skill upgrade, but we could have a lot of weapon crit chance and see if that works on the beam. Oh, he died? So when someone dies in multiplayer, it like lowers your max HP when you revive them, I think. So we're at 551. And then we go down to 468. So if your team keeps dying, they can actually like mess up your run entirely. Because you'll eventually have so little HP, you'll end up getting one shot. Oh, God. That's not a good spot, man. I can pop the banner and then try to res him during that. Oh, God, my team's dying all over the place. What is happening?
My bad.
We need Dilly to res him because I'm losing so much max HP saving them. Like, I really can't afford to lose much more HP on this run. I'm just gonna follow the host. I feel like it's like proper etiquette to just do what they want for the run. So if he wants to rush the boss, we will. Otherwise, we'll just fully clear, I guess. I will lower my Shadow Curse. I don't think we can afford to take extra damage with how much HP I'm losing rising people. Oh, you're right. What is... Oh, he's the same thing as me. That's right. I forgot the one I was playing. We're both the healers then. Well, summoners more like, but you can do healing as a meme, I guess. Crusader just sounds kind of like a frontliner, I guess. I don't know what we're looking for over here. We have a fourth person with no name? Oh, he has some symbols that don't show up there, I guess. Health and mana per trinkets and potion charge, not bad. Alright, final floor since we rushed so many bosses. I'll pop the invuln, like in the front line, so we can just have everyone run in and zerg stuff here. But then we'll be without it for a little while. We could drop a bit of Shadow Curse up here, so we can stay alive easily and just focus on healing on the final boss. Where was... all the way up there. We can see the stuff they've explored, which is nice. Really just a bit of gold over here. Blocks 50 damage, not bad. Ah, look at his tiny little circle. Imagine having a circle that small in 2026. My poor max HP. Oh my god, we erased him. This must be a low difficulty, but I thought it said New Game +4 when I joined, so I'm pretty sure. Correct. Can I see what difficulty that was? No, but based on like the damage and stuff, I guess it was a pretty short run as well. But that guy exploded. It was probably just regular. Alright, but that was a cool experiment, I guess. Would be cooler if we could... How do you even leave a lobby? I can't kick myself. I don't know, but that's gonna be it for now. Pretty cool little run with the support build and lots of summons. We also did some of the caster. I'll have to try out the Thorns tank later on once I've got some gear with like Thorns built into it, so we can synergize a bit better with that. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Or will I?